Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Brown, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, I have a new toy today, and that is a drawing tablet. So I actually finally get to sketch out everything that I've been talking. I have literally been dreaming about this. It took me a little while to figure out the one I wanted, but now I get to teach you guys some things on my handy-dandy whiteboard. Because I don't have my old whiteboard, which makes me a little sad. But in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about what is a funnel, how does a funnel work, where do people come in on, how do they leave the funnel, all this kind of good stuff. Sounds pretty weird, but honestly, in the digital marketing world, funnels run everything. Now, if you've heard of a funnel, great. If you haven't heard of a funnel, great, because I'm going to teach you everything that you're going to want to know about a funnel. So we're going to jump over to my computer, but essentially, let me explain it first before I start drawing here. A funnel is basically a way to get to a sale. So obviously we all know what a funnel looks like. Starts open at the top, right? And then, it goes down and down and down. And essentially you want to get people in the top all the way through and then ultimately resulting in something at the bottom. So that might be a sale, that might be a sign up, that might be a variety of different things. So let's jump into my computer here and let's take a look at funnels. So once again, we have, or better yet, we know what a funnel is, and this is a rainbow color here. Let's do some black. Cool. So we got we got black here, right? We got a funnel, and essentially you're gonna bring them all the way down to the bottom of that funnel, and that's ultimately the goal, right? The goal is to get this person up here, right? And please be gentle with my stick figures here, but you want to get them down that funnel. That is ultimately the goal of your funnel, right? You want to get them down to come through and then turn this into something, right? So what is this something? It could be, it could be money, it could be an email, right? I'll do a little @ symbol for email, right? Essentially, you just want to get something from them. And there's a whole bunch of, complicated funnels and things like this. But essentially, this is the most basic version of a funnel, right? So I'm going to sketch it out a little bit bigger here now. And a lot of people don't actually realize that there's quite a bit that you can actually do in a funnel. Now, there's sales funnels, there's marketing funnels, there's conversion funnels and things like that. And ultimately, right, we left a question mark here, and there's a reason why. But essentially, this is the top of the funnel, right? We want to get people to come into the funnel at some point, wherever they're coming from. So these people could be coming from an ad. They could be coming in from a, social media post, right, SMP. They could be coming in from a blog, right, blog. They could be coming in from, maybe it's a forwarded email or something like that, right? It could be something like that from a friend. There are a million and one ways to get in here, right? Don't think of it like, hey, there has to be one thing that's going to bring people into the funnel, right? And the funnel, you're going to have different stages of the funnel. So let me just draw a nice little line across here and here. So this might be stage 1, right? So we're going to do a nice little 1 here. And what is your stage 1, right? So if you're running an ad, maybe it's a social media post, maybe it's a blog, maybe it's a YouTube video, another good one. Something like this. If you guys want to go check it out, obviously my sites are down below, right? And what are they getting out of, what comes here, right? So everybody, depending on your funnel and how you build your funnels, this is going to vary. For a lot of people, maybe it's just an email sign up, right? Email. I'm going to just do SU for sign up here. And, which is great, right? Because now you're getting them to the next level. And ideally, people are going to travel in this direction. You want them to go all the way through your funnel. So now that you've gotten them in the email, maybe it's a nurturing email, right? So maybe it's a value, right? You're going to nurture them. You're going to provide value. You're going to make them feel good. They came into your ecosystem. So they came in, from an ad. They came in from a social media post, YouTube, blog, maybe a forwarded email or some other source, right? There's a million and one ways. Maybe it's a backlink from another site. Sorry, I touched my thing here. And now, so now you want to start adding value, right? And maybe the third level is additional value. Right? Value. And you could pick and choose what these are. And as time goes on, you're going to start to figure out, right, if you can get, and this is where it gets really cool, this becomes a game of numbers at some point, right? So if you can get, we'll say 100 people to your website. We're using super generic numbers here because it's just easier, right? And you get 100 people to visit your website, right? Out of those 100 people, right? Maybe 10 of them actually keep on your emails. I'm going to try to keep these in row with the values here, right? And maybe out of the values, maybe you get, 8 people actually read the second email, and maybe 7 people read this email, right? And then maybe there's a free video, right? Maybe there is a video, and maybe 6 people or 4 people watch that video, right? This is all gonna, this is all where it gets a little interesting. But the cool part is you have their email address. This is so incredibly important right here. I cannot even begin to explain it, because having an email address, you can then market to people, you can then, send tracking ads, all that kind of stuff, right? Maybe it's a video in here. And then ultimately, at some point or another, you're gonna make an offer. And what is that offer? Well, that's up for you. Maybe that's an ebook, right? That's not an E. Maybe it's an ebook. Book. Maybe it is maybe it's a starter item. So like we'll call it a monkey's fist. Right? It's that thing that you could just give them that provides a lot of value for a low amount of money, right? So maybe that's tied to money. Maybe it is getting them to do a challenge, right? Maybe it's a challenge, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be monetary, although it could be, a sale, right? Ultimately, maybe it is a sale, and you want to drive that person down to a sale to say, hey, you know what? Maybe this is really what they want. And at some point or another, right, you're going to have maybe 2 people look at this, right? And the cool part is now that you know that if you get 100 people to your website, right, 2 people are actually going to see your offer. So what rate does that offer convert at? Now, if that offer converts at a 10% rate, right, now you might not get any sales out of this. But the cool part is once you start to really think about like, hey, maybe 100's too basic. Maybe we got to go to 10,000, right? And you have 10,000. And, right, we'll use similar numbers. So we have 10,000, right? So maybe it's, what is that? That's 10%. So we have 1,000 people that actually go through and give you their email addresses. And then we have 800 here, 800, and then we have 700, and then we have 400, right? But now the cool part is if you have a conversion rate of, even 1% or 2% or whatever that percentage is, right, you can then take this number and say, okay, great. Well, out of those 400 people, if you have a 1% conversion rate, right, you can expect to get 4 sales, right? And now how much do those sales equal? Well, that's ultimately up to you, right? But this is the most basic level of a funnel there is out there. And the cool part is people will actually stay in here and they're going to go through this beautiful little this is my attempt at drawing a recycle thing here, and I apologize, it's not very good. But this is essentially, you can keep sending them emails, but this is a numbers game. So when somebody says like, hey, what is content marketing, or how does content marketing work, or what are your conversion rates? This is essentially your conversion rate, right? So however you choose to get them in the top of this funnel, maybe it's it could be content, right? We practice content marketing at my agency. And that uses a variety of these different things to get them to give us their emails so we can provide value, and maybe and a video maybe, or an offer, or maybe it's a one-on-one meeting. Maybe it's a free coaching session, right? Whatever it is, and then we look at the numbers. So if we can say, hey, we got 10,000 people to the website, right? Well, out of those 10,000, we got 1,000 email addresses. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's 500 email addresses, right? I'm going to just move this over a little bit here. But if we take a look at this and we change it to 500, right? And then we say, okay, great. Out of that 500, maybe it's, we still had that as 10,000 people, right? Maybe 500 give us their email addresses. But we know if we could figure out the emails, what percentage people open and things like that, that's really where it comes down to. It's really all a numbers game. So if we say 500, right? Maybe it's 400, maybe it's 200 at some point, right? And then maybe on the offer, maybe only 100 people, right, actually go through and check out the offer, whatever that offer is, paid or unpaid, right? But maybe we realize, hey, in here we have a major problem, and we could say, what's wrong, right? What is the problem? Because these numbers are so skewed. Now, every industry, every blog, every company is going to have different numbers, but the goal is to get 10,000, 100,000 people, right? If we kept these numbers, right, and we just added one more zero to it, what would those numbers look like, right? So we can add one more zero, right? And this is obviously not going to convert 100% correctly. And let me grab an eraser here. You can do that. Grab that pen. Perfect. So now we do 100,000, right? Maybe it's 5,000 emails. Maybe it's 4,000 opens. Then it's 2,000 opens. Maybe then it's 1,000 people that saw the offer, right? And if we're still keeping up the same percentage, right, of 1%, now what's 1% of 1,000, right? You're talking about 100 people, right? I think that's the right number. I'm hoping my math is right here. It's 100 people. It's definitely not the right number. It's 10. Cool. So now you have 10 sales, right? So this is really where it gets interesting. And then you could start to look at your whole funnel, right? And these are going to be emails that are going out here. And every funnel is going to be different. Typically, it's going to be emails, but it could be videos. It could be a bunch of different things, right? But if we change this number to 2,000, right, and we kept the same amount, that number becomes 20, right? Just because we're able to keep these next people engaged between here. So however you decide to lay out your funnel, essentially a funnel becomes, just a way for people to get into your ecosystem, but you had to bring them in from the most important area, which is up here. This is undoubtedly the most important thing, and I'm starting to get kind of crazy with my drawing here, but getting an ad or content, content marketing, blogs, videos, things like that, social media posts, YouTube, or a blog already. Maybe it's an ad sign. Maybe it's Pinterest. Pinterest happens to be a really good, and I usually get a couple hundred clicks per month on Pinterest. Maybe it's Pinterest driving traffic to it. Now, I don't particularly love Pinterest just because I don't quite fully understand it yet, but that's why I have somebody on my team that takes care of it for me. So these are all things that you need to think about, and all of these are now driving emails, right? This is the most important thing. I can't even stress it enough, because if you're really looking for massive growth, an email address is the most important thing. And then out of all those, then you could go in and say, okay, great. Now that we have their email address, right? Maybe it's maybe it's 100% is here, right? They got your first email, right? And then maybe it's 80% of those people, right? And then it's 70% of those people. And once you know these numbers, you can modify and tweak to see what is going to ultimately give you the best result out of this whole thing. I know it seems kind of kind of weird, but this is essentially when marketers say like, hey, I'm working on a funnel, or I'm building a funnel and things like that. And funnels could lead into other funnels, which could lead into other funnels. But you got to think about it, right? The person that's going to go buy a Lamborghini, they're not just going to go buy a Lamborghini, right? They're not just going to go buy a Ferrari. They're going to start with a different car, more than likely. Now, obviously, Lamborghini and Ferraris don't really have lower tier cars that most people could try, but let's look at Audi, right? Most people aren't going to just go out and buy an Audi R8, a really nice exotic car. Usually ranges between $100,000 to $200,000. It's a lot of money, right? But most people aren't going to go out and buy that. They're going to go buy maybe a TT. They're going to go buy maybe a smaller car. They're going to go buy at least an Audi probably before that, or they're going to go and have experience driving a sports car before they go make their final decision, right? Before they go to that big ticket item. So whatever it is, that person might have came in because they drove a Mazda Miata back in the day, and I don't know if you're a car person or not, but maybe that was just the thing that really got them going to get their wheels turned and say, this is something I want to do. And then after that, then they progressively get nicer and nicer cars, and then that's how they graduate to that Lamborghini, that Ferrari, something like that, maybe a McLaren or anything. But this is the funnel, right? People have to come through at certain points, and in business, it's the same way. Nobody's going to buy your most expensive product unless, one, you have a crazy track record for it, or two, they're going to start, they're going to, hey, let me dip my toes in. Let me go a little more, right? You don't go to the gym and you don't hire a personal trainer right off the bat. You go to the gym, you get a little feel for it, right? Maybe you visit it for the day. They grab your email address. Hey, come on back. We'll give you a free shake if you come back. Whatever it is. Restaurant, same thing. Hey, let's send you a free pizza, whatever it is. This is their funnel, right? They send you a free pizza. You go check it out. This literally just happened to me the other day. I got a letter in the mail. Hey, get a free pizza. We went and we got a free pizza the other day. Pizza was delicious. Can't wait to go back. Guess who just hired a customer? That pizza place, right? So that's a funnel. That's how it works. It's getting people in your ecosystem. This is kind of how it's explained. I'm going to be doing a whole nother video, probably right after this, of really kind of breaking down each kind of step in the funnel, what you need to do and how to do it, and really how to just make it better and better and better. So I hope you guys found value in this. If you guys did, you should absolutely hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. My name is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Oh, I forgot to tell you, subscribe and little notification bell. And by the way, anything that you see in this video, including this board right here, I will leave in the description down below if you want to get one of these to draw things or anything like that. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys later. Harrison Brown, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Bye.